Hey guys, it's Max92 and welcome back to another tryout. Today's tryout is on Last Inua. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. There's this interesting thing with this game where it kind of reminds me of Year Walk in a sense. I did a wrap up and a full Let's Play on Year Walk. We'll put the playlist in the card here. And one of the things I said about that in the wrap up was that the art style and the sound design led to it having this sort of handcrafted feel. And I think that Last Inua does that really well. It's got this like I said, handcrafted feel from the visual design to the music and whatnot. It just feels like someone, really like one or like a very small group of people worked on this and made this happen. You can sort of feel that. As for another, maybe more obvious comparison, it also makes me think of Never Alone, which I did a tryout on. Again, link another card up there you can click on. And in that tryout, I played it, and it's also a puzzle platformer where you have two lead characters that you can swap between that each have different abilities that help you get through the thing, and they're also set in very snowy environments. They are about two different cultures, however, and that's, I think, where the main difference between these two games lie, is that Never Alone pretty much presents itself as an educational tool to teach you about the culture that the game is inspired by, whereas Last Inua more uses that culture as a setting to tell the story it's trying to tell. I don't know if they're telling a story that is out of the culture or whatever, because they don't really put any information about the culture directly into the game. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just two different things. But that means that Last Inua has to stand on its gameplay a lot more, because it is first and foremost a game rather than Never Alone being first and foremost an educational tool. And really, Last Inua has some problems with its controls. First off, they're a bit limited. For some reason, there's a lot of things mapped to the spacebar that are contextual. So I have this whole keyboard and a mouse that I use that are both part of the controls for this game. However, there's only like 5 keys on the keyboard that are used, and sometimes you use the mouse to do some things. So it doesn't need to be this limiting in its controls. I think that's sort of unnecessary. And on top of this limitation of what you can do and all these contextual controls, you also have the issue that it's kind of slow to respond to inputs. And that might be fine if the platforming element stays relatively simple, but there are some sections that I ran into where it's a bit more timing based, where like there was a section where I was sort of flying around a thing and I had to sort of hold spacebar to fly and let go to stop flying and move around with the A and D to go left and right. And through this section, I died several times, having to start the whole section over because there were no checkpoints. And it was really just, I had to get these 3 floating bluey things, but there was, a wind that would come through and push you around, and the controls weren't responsive enough to react to that wind, really. And so it took me maybe 10, 20 minutes to get through this kind of short section, to the point where I almost quit right there at like 50 minutes, not even trying for the finish out the hour. And then at the hour, I hit I got to a new part, and I was messing around in that part, and I did something weird where, like, I died and I respawned, I switched characters too quickly, and for like 10 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds, I couldn't move. I just couldn't move, and I thought that I just totally soft locked the game there for a second, then I just left it alone and it started working again. So I don't know what that was about, but it was very strange. I thought I'd soft locked the game, but I guess I had not. So it sucks because I do think that on terms of its art and its audio design, this game is pretty cool. But the fact that it lacks any information about the culture that it's inspired by means that it has to stand entirely on its gameplay otherwise, and its gameplay is just not great. And because of that, and because I don't really want to play more of it that much, maybe I'll finish it at some point, but I don't really want to play more of it. Because of that, I have to fail it. That's sort of the conceit of the show. I don't want to play more, so it failed the tryout. So that's that, I guess. So now we'll get into the end of it. So if you go in the description, you can find links to all my places. Twitter, Patreon, Redbubble, Bandcamp, Soundcloud, whatever. Links in the description. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. If you want to keep up with this and other shows on the channel, you can subscribe, leave a comment. Have you played Last Inua? Have you played Yearwalk? Have you played Never Alone? Leave a comment. Let me know about those. Share the video. Do the things. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!